This is the Oneness Podcast, episode 48. I am Jessica Delmar. I assist in strengthening your knowledge of who you truly are as a powerful creator being during these powerfully shifting times. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. In today's episode, I want to talk about divine flow and focus for quantum leaps and new earth ascension. So focus is so important at this time because there's so many things happening in our perspective that focus is needed in order to take those next steps in alignment with who you truly are, what you truly want, and what you truly want to create for yourself. So that's what this episode is all about. And we're also going to talk about quantum leaping at this time, which is simply just aligning yourself to the path, the open pathway of your highest potential available for you right now if you're able to focus on it and take those steps into it. Focus is so important at this time, again, because there are two things happening. Number one, all of the shifting that is happening. When I look into the energy, it's like there's so many dissolving of realities and timelines and overlapping of realities and timelines. So there's a lot of chaos happening in the timelines, in the layers of reality. And so what this does is it actually makes way for feelings of disconnection, feelings of dissociation, feelings like being out of body, if you will. This opens feelings of being tired all the time and very much like this blurry feeling, like if you wear glasses and you're not wearing glasses, like everything's kind of a blur and low energy. And also this sort of zombie-like feeling, like you're just kind of moving through life, but not really connecting to anything. And so there's that sort of zombie-like energy. So that's the first thing that's happening in this chaos, this bubbling over of energy, of shifting energy going on. But the second thing that's happening is, of course, we know strong duality playing out, very much like a tug-of-war game. So this constant pushing and pulling back and forth, and it's creating what I feel is this nauseating energy, like being on a boat in high waves, very chaotic energy. Again, I just feel nauseous. And sort of like if you're going to a club and there's those strobe lights happening, that sort of strobe light energy is the other thing going on, which is why it's so important to focus at this time. Find your focus through all of this chaos happening in our realities and timelines going on right now. You are in a time and space where realities are bending, moving, and shifting very rapidly. Many of you may be feeling like you are existing in between realities, and this is essentially because you are existing in between realities. Feeling like you are in between realities is a convenient way of sort of escaping the strong duality playing out, but it's also just part of your evolution and movement into your new reality. Just make sure that you are constantly tending to where you are and pulling in new energy so that some sort of momentum and movement can be established to keep pushing you forward so that you don't essentially get stuck in between realities. So the feeling of being in between realities at this moment feels like, number one, that time is moving very fast or very slow. So you basically have no sense of time. Number two, you have a hard time remembering things. You also may not be able to recall too many things in your memory. And or number three, everything only feels like a memory, as if your physical form just sort of sped through the days, weeks, or months without you fully remembering or being there. And this kind of goes back to that zombie-like energy happening with all of the shifting going on, or the feelings of disconnection or dissociation. And these feelings are basically connected to, yes, being in that sort of in-between space, but also not being grounded in the body while you are in the in-between space. So the in-between that I'm talking about here is like in-between realities as you're shifting. I've spoken about an in-between space before in my podcast episodes that you can listen to, which refer to that sort of infinite space in between. But as we bring it back into the body, we are perceiving at this moment how the body is moving and shifting, right? So I want to bring it back home and make it a little bit more relatable and understandable in terms of how you can start to identify more with your body, align more in the body, and move it forward, continue to expand and evolve together, physical and non-physical. So being in this in-between reality space, it's easy to get ungrounded because you feel a little bit disconnected, right? You feel you don't necessarily have those secure, stable feelings because you are in between realities. So what we want to do is we want to ground you more in the body so that you can consciously be taking your next steps in alignment with your potential, this pathway of potential that's opening up for you, and start to physically connect more with it so that it's more tangible and so that your new earth reality is becoming more tangible as well. But you have to ground in the body. So again, being in that in-between space, it's easy to be ungrounded. And there are two things that happen when you're not grounded in the body. Number one, going back to that sort of zombie-like feeling, the disconnection or dissociation from your physical, from your reality. The thing is that your body, your physical form, needs your spirit to function and thrive in potential. It needs your spirit alignment to truly bring in that potential into your waking experience and your reality and your steps through it, right? Your journey. So this is why it's so important for your physical to be in alignment with your non-physical expansion. Your expansion cannot only be in non-physical. We came into this human experience, this physical experience, to experience our expansion in form, our infinite potential in form. The other thing is that there are bodies out there without spirit or soul connected, but that's a whole other thing that I won't get into. We are focusing on aligning our spirit with our form. The second thing that happens when you are not grounded in the body is ailments. When you cannot stay grounded in the body, it opens space for stuck energy to lift, which is actually a good thing because it brings attention to where you're holding stuck or unhealed energy that you may not have necessarily been as aware of before, because sometimes grounded energy can be too heavy and it can actually stifle those blocked energies in the body. So that feeling of being ungrounded in the in-between reality space at this time that many people find themselves in is actually a very healing experience for a lot of people, because it gives you the space to unground yourself a little bit, feel that ungroundedness, therefore allowing a lot of those energies, those once stuck and stifled energies, to start rising for you to really pay attention to and recognize them. Physical ailments can also rise with not staying grounded in the body as the body's way of communicating with you to come back and tend to it. So ailments are always trying to communicate something to us. Today we're going to talk about quantum shifting and pulling in energy to help push you forward into potential and add energetic momentum to your now moment so that you align more with your fullest potential. This requires attending to the body, bringing awareness back to the body, and bringing the body up to speed with your energetic quantum jumps. You will find yourself more and more in this in-between reality space because it's actually almost like a new layer of reality that has opened for many people. It is a new layer unveiled by the work of thousands of light workers laying the bricks of the leading edge. And this is why many people who may not be as spiritually aware or awakened are still feeling the effects of being in this in-between reality space. They are still being pulled into that space because they are literally opening into this new layer of reality. At the moment, it may be an in-between reality space, but it's still part of the journey. So many people are opening into this new layer of reality, even though it's in between realities, because those who are aware are helping to peel that layer of reality open and make it more accessible to all who can somehow resonate with it. Is it 5D? Not completely. Again, it's in between, right? But to be honest, also the term 5D has begun to shift in its meaning for me, I want to say. It's almost begun to lack meaning for me. And I say this because as you begin to evolve more and more, your reality is evolving with you, right? You're constantly stepping into a new reality. And so the word that I simply like to use now is evolution into a new earth reality, which is happening again step by step, layer by layer. And so we are constantly evolving. So even this in-between space is an evolved layer, an evolved reality for many people who will continue to step into new realities as they start to create and make their new earth experience more robust and tangible for themselves. Yes, there are different dimensions that are split due to different frequencies. So for example, 3D and 5D, they are two different dimensions that are split, right? But we also have to recognize that there are many layers in between that 3D and 5D that help build the lifting of frequencies. So it's very much just like your emotions. To go from anger into joy, there are many different vibrational emotions in between. Although anger and joy offer two different vibrational realities, the movement in between is actually such a powerful journey in and of itself, which offers healing and acclimation to new reality vibrations. Enlightenment is the constant evolution of how spirit leads through you, and where we are going is the journey. That journey is what harnesses deep connection to spirit. The attainment of a new earth reality is full of possibility, and the attainment is essentially just the recognition of that possibility within you, right? It is the recognition of potential within you. And so that is essentially what you are trying to attain. It's not really attaining anything. It's just simply recognizing more and more of the fullness of who you truly are, recognizing more and more of your potential and possibility through you, within you. Spirit, in constant motion through the physical, will continually reach for higher frequencies, making higher levels of experience possible for the human physical being. Spirit reaching for higher frequencies and expansion is your recognition of fuller potential and possibility through you. Let's talk about quantum leaping for a moment, or quantum shifting. You are infinite creators, and your will for change is held in the line of sight of limitlessness. However, your experience in the physical is one that constructs limitation. So how do you get from here, limitation, to there, limitlessness? You do this by waving your white flag, is what came through, in where you are, meaning let go of all of the attachments that keep you held to where you are. The bird with unnecessary weight cannot fly, but it holds no attachments to anything. Therefore, the flight that is taken as weightless and full of potential, no matter where the bird goes. We're not saying to let go of responsibility, just the opposite. Responsibility gives purpose to people in life, but the energy behind your attachments to responsibility can be cleaned up so that responsibility does not equal added weight, but responsibility begins to shift into purpose and fulfillment. So many of you are curious about quantum shifting, which is essentially getting from where you are to where you want to be. And we say that the first step is always to surrender to where you are. It tells your reality that you are releasing control and resistance and open to change. Attachments keep perpetual motion between you and what you are attached to, and the reality through that attachment. So when you let go, you open new space for new energy to enter and take shape in your environment. How wonderful is this, as infinite creators, to remember that you are able to create whatever you desire. But all it takes is your ability to let go of the things that you have already created. It opens space for greater potential to rise within both you and your reality. I thought that was so powerful, that to create whatever you desire, all it takes really is your ability to let go of the things that you have already created. So many times we forget that the things that are manifested right now for us in our experience are things that we have already created. And so because it's here in the now and it's tangible, we hold on so tightly to them. And it doesn't allow space for us to create more in the next steps ahead. And instead, we just continue to create based upon the energy that we've already created with, and continue to perpetuate that in a cycle for ourselves. So we have to let go. And this is why it's so important to release attachments to everything in your reality, because it opens up so much more space for you to recognize and fully realize your infinite potential in form and create with it. So step 1 in quantum shifting is to let go. This may require for the attachments to surface for you to let you know what you are holding on to, right? You have to recognize the things in your reality that you're holding on to in order to let go and completely surrender. So you want to see what you are holding on to and attaching to and have gratitude for it, because that will make the letting go much easier. Step number 2 is to realize your potential in where you are. Many people see where they are, and even if they let go, they may still see where they are and say, well, this is all I'll ever have. So even in letting go, step 1, you can fall into 2 places. The first place you can fall into is the infinite black pit of limitation, or the other place that you can fall into is the infinite white space of fullness and potential. We spoke about the black hole and the white hole in our last episode, if you haven't listened to that. So those 2 spaces, the black hole of limitation, chaos, destruction, and the white hole of fullness, potential, infinite potential, is always available within you, and you're creating through those holes, essentially, those portals. And so you have to consciously and intentionally choose the energy you're using or you're utilizing to move you forward. And that energy is coming from either the black hole or the white hole. So once you let go from step 1, step 2 is you need to intentionally realize your potential in where you are. So when you let go, you open space for energy to come sweeping in. So you must, again, be very intentional in what energy you want to invite in to propel you forward. You are powerful creator beings, and creation involves both destruction and what we know of as creation. So your intentions are very potent at this time to assist with your quantum shifts. When you let go, realize the potential in where you are and invite possibility to take shape in where you are going. So this requires openness, dreams, positive flow and inspiration so that possibility can go from energy to physicality. It can be directed from energy into physical manifestation. So you want to feel yourself step into pure potential and limitless freedom. This step may require you to hone and tune your self-love and worthiness, especially because you cannot step into your fullest potential when you do not feel worthy of it, right? You must hone, tune, and align your sense of worthiness with your pure, infinite potential. And this leads me to step 3, which is to have faith in the unfolding. Your realities are shifting so quickly, but energy still needs time to take shape. Letting go of attachments in where you are from step 1 assists here in step 3 when it comes to having faith, patience, and trust in the unfolding. Expectation creates attachments, so release even your expectation. Instead of expectation, have eagerness for what may illuminate for you on your path now that you are open and ready for something new and something full of potential and possibility, without, of course, holding on too tightly or attaching too much to the things that you want. So eagerness is a heightened vibration of hope. It involves excitement and zest for life and brings the energy of true unfolding in alignment with the universe's desires for you on your path of true potential. Because of step 1, you let go, right? And in letting go of attachments also means letting go of control in how you want your life outcomes to be, or how you want the unfolding to be. So part of recognizing what you're holding on to in step 1 in your life, within yourself, a big part of that is also, there's so many different layers, but a big part is control, releasing those attachments to the things that you want to control in your life. Once you release control, it opens so much energy for universal desire to move through you and take you on that greater journey in alignment with your universal purpose. So opening up eagerness and hope and excitement for the unfolding experience ahead for you aligns you again with the universe's desires to move through you, that universal purpose to move through you, rather than the expectation, which opens an unfolding of your experience in alignment with your mind's desires, the ego, the desire to control those next steps. And then finally, we have step 4, which is to notice the expansion in every now moment. You are a leaf blowing in the wind, and never is a now moment exactly the same as another. What you may not have noticed before, because the mind was spinning in the wheels of constructed limitation, you may now begin to notice. And this is that each moment is new and different, and the changes that you have been asking for is here and now. But for you to grab hold of these changes, you must be able to see and connect with them. Seeing and connecting with the changes that you desire means realizing and recognizing the potential and possibility within yourself, right? Again, it's not attaining enlightenment. It is simply the recognition of more fullness to your potential, more fullness to the possibilities held within you that want to manifest through you and for you. Can you feel that? You can feel it in your body when your body recognizes potential as pure feeling. You may not even know what the potential is. You may not even know what the possibilities are, right? But it's just that pure feeling of expansion and openness that is desiring just to be felt within you. Because then the actual steps, the actual unfolding is left up to the universe, right? In your ability to let go of control of how you are unfolding your reality. You leave it up to the universe for the perfect unfolding, for all of your desires in your vortex of things that you want to manifest for you, to start unfolding for you in alignment with your openness and in alignment with you recognizing your potential and your open possibility field. And it's all in the now moment. You have to be in the now moment to recognize these things within you and open up that space. These things are always in the wind, is what came through, talking about that leaf blowing in the wind. But you are the leaf blowing in the wind, meaning you are moved by its energy and taken to where you can become more in alignment with the energy. So if you have a feeling of potential and possibility within you, again, you don't need to know what it is exactly. You just need to hook up with the feeling of it, the expanded feeling that there is potential and infinite connection that you are moving towards and that's moving within you. So as you feel that, then that energy will guide you to recognize whatever it is, that potential that wants to manifest through you. Your lives and realities are constantly shifting, and quantum leaping means to let go and accept the shifting winds taking place in your life. When you let go, the winds will take you along for a ride that may be unexpected, fast-moving or slow-moving, streamlined or even not streamlined and chaotic and spinning, but you will get to your quantum destination one way or another. Remember that life is the journey, and although some quantum shifts can be instant, most are moment to moment, so that when you take a moment to look back at the years past, you realize how far you have journeyed from one sense of yourself to another. The miracle is in the details, not the big asking. Your desire for a quantum shift intertwines into an intricately woven web. The asking, which is your desire for something new, for change, for something, right, that you want to move into, is not the main event, believe it or not. But the asking is what sparks the wheel to begin weaving the intricate details that make up the journey towards what it is that you're asking for. And the journey is what is the main event. The journey is what is so beautiful, even in the most difficult parts of the journey, because it makes the time that when you look back and you see in hindsight how far you've come, it makes that perspective so much sweeter, that you can pinpoint those parts of your journey that were difficult or challenging, but you know that you've moved through them in your looking back at them. You can see how much more robust your journey becomes when there are the ebbs and flows and your ability to move through them. And know that the journey ultimately is the path of evolving as spiritual beings, having a physical experience, having a human experience, with knowledge of enlightenment as your light on the path. And that's what came through for today's message. So just know that your ability to quantum leap into a version of you that is full of potential is happening right now, and it is open right now. So definitely start to take those steps, because within each step, there's a lot of healing and unveiling to be realized and recognized, because it's all part of peeling back the layers towards recognizing your full potential within you. But it's available now, and it's activating within you now. I'll be posting the written transmission of this podcast episode over on my website, www.jessicadelmar.com, under the library tab. So go to the website, read the transmission. You can also print it out to help you along in moving forward with these steps that we spoke about today. Thank you so much for being here, for listening in, and for all of your support. This podcast can now be found on all of your favorite podcast platforms. So listen and subscribe on Apple iTunes, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, and YouTube. I'll see you in the next episode, and remember that all is truly well. Oneness, love, and peace be with you.